It wouldn't have been with Kylian Mbappé in its squad that the Paris Saint-Germain would have produced such a masterclass against the FC Bayern Munich. Hello dear Madrid fans, before we start the video, make sure to subscribe to support the channel. The Parc des Princes witnessed one of those nights that people talk about for years. A night of fire, a night of chaos, a night where every single minute felt like it could explode. A UEFA Champions League semi-final between Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich was already expected to be huge on paper. But nobody, absolutely nobody, was ready for what was about to happen. 9 goals, constant twists and turns, big stars stepping up, defenses under extreme pressure, fans standing the entire match, and at the end of the storm, an unreal scoreline, 5-4 for Paris. Yes, 5-4, a result that looks like a street football battle between giants, yet it was a European semi-final between two of the biggest powerhouses in world football. Tonight, football reminded everyone why it is the most intense sport on the planet. Tonight, Paris and Munich delivered a rare emotional rollercoaster. Hearts raced faster, breaths were held, eyes stayed frozen on the pitch. Tonight, football was the true winner. From the very first seconds, it was clear this match would not be normal. There was electric tension in the air, almost a wild energy. Every duel felt like the entire season depended on it. Every ball was fought for like a final battle. PSG wanted to strike hard in front of their fans, proving they were no longer just an ambitious club but a real contender for European glory. Bayern arrived with history, prestige, and their usual cold efficiency in big moments. 2 philosophies, 2 giants, 1 place in the final. And when the stakes are this high, emotions become uncontrollable. Bayern struck first. In the 17th minute, Harry Kane stepped up to take a penalty. A freezing silence fell over the stadium. The English striker took a breath, ran up, and finished with absolute composure. Goal, 0-1. As so often, Kane delivered with efficiency. As so often, Bayern showed they only need one opening to punish you. At that moment, many thought Paris might collapse, that old European ghosts might return, that pressure would crush them. But this new generation PSG did not break. They responded with pride. 7 minutes later, Kvaratskhelia appeared. The Georgian winger, unpredictable, explosive, uncatchable, showed once again why he is one of the most dangerous players in Europe. He received the ball, accelerated, dribbled past defenders, struck, and the ball was in. 1-1, the stadium erupted. Paris answered with authority. No panic, no fear, just pure reaction. That goal changed everything. It ignited the fans, energized the team, and set off a storm. PSG then grew in confidence. Every pass became sharper, every recovery turned into a threat. João Neves, symbol of this ambitious and talented new generation, sent the Parc des Princes into celebration in the 33rd minute. Paris went ahead, 2-1. The message was clear. This PSG no longer waits, it acts. It imposes itself, it plays without hesitation. João Neves didn't just score, he embodied the future of a club trying to win in a new way, with intensity and identity. But Bayern are never truly gone. That is one of the greatest truths in European football. You can shake them, you can hurt them, but you never bury them early. Michael Olise reminded everyone in the 41st minute. A quick move, a clean finish, and suddenly it was level again. 2-2, another thunderbolt, another twist, another reset. This match refused all logic. It wanted drama, nothing else. And just before halftime, the stadium exploded again. Ousmane Dembélé won and converted a penalty in stoppage time. 3-2 for Paris at the perfect moment. Psychologically, that kind of goal feels like a blow to the opponent. One team goes into the break ahead, the other frustrated. And everyone is left thinking the same thing. If the first half was this insane, what on earth will the second half bring? The answer went far beyond expectations. After the break, Paris came out like a possessed team. The tempo was relentless, the runs were sharp, the attacking intent was total. Kvaratskhelia struck again in the 56th minute. A brace. 4-2. He was everywhere, breaking lines, destroying structure, playing with fire and opposition nerves. At that point, Paris looked close to something historic. Bayern were wobbling. The stadium roared louder. Europe watched in disbelief. And before anyone could even breathe, Dembélé struck again. 2 minutes later, 5-2. His second goal. Paris were now 5-2 up in a Champions League semi-final against Bayern Munich. In that moment, the stadium felt like it was touching the sky. Fans could not believe it. Players were running everywhere. Paris were flying. It was no longer just dominance. It was a statement. But football is cruel to those who think it is over too early. Bayern, wounded in pride, fought back. Dayot Upamecano reduced the gap in the 65th minute. 5-3. Then just 3 minutes later, Luis Diaz struck again. 5-4. In just 3 minutes, the match exploded back to life. What looked finished was suddenly alive again. The stadium, moments earlier in celebration, now felt fear. That special fear of big games when leads disappear and every second becomes unbearable. The final minutes were completely breathless. Paris still attacked but with less control. Bayern pushed forward sensing a sixth goal was possible. Every cross caused panic. Every corner shook the stands. Every duel felt like a final battle. Goalkeepers were tested. Defenders threw their bodies on the line. Attackers searched for the final moment. And when the referee finally blew the whistle, the entire stadium exhaled at once. 0.5-4. Paris wins. But what a strange victory. Glorious, spectacular, unforgettable, yet incomplete. Because leading 5-2 and finishing 5-4 leaves a mixed feeling. On one side, 9 goals in a European semifinal and a win against a giant. On the other, defensive fragility and a tie that is still wide open. Paris won, yes, but they also kept Bayern alive. That is what makes this result so fascinating. One goal, just one, the difference between total joy and real danger. Between a dream final and a possible collapse in the second leg. PSG have an advantage, but a fragile one. At the Allianz Arena, Bayern will be at home, backed by their fans and their comeback mentality. One goal can change everything. For PSG, the message is simple. Talent alone is not enough. It was enough to win the first leg, but control will be required to survive the second. Mistakes cannot be repeated at this level. Defensive unity, composure, and game management will be essential. For Bayern, the message is equally clear. They have the weapons to turn this around, but they cannot afford such defensive gaps. PSG thrive on space, speed, and chaos. If Bayern overcommit, they will be punished. This first leg will remain one of the greatest spectacles of the season. It had everything. Goals, stars, drama, momentum swings, pure chaos. In a football world sometimes too tactical or controlled, this match reminded everyone of the beauty of offensive madness. Because in the end, that is what fans want. Emotion. Standing up, screaming, holding their heads, watching the clock and begging for either the end, or one more miracle. PSG versus Bayern delivered all of that in one night. But be careful, the story is not over. It has only just begun. Paris won the battle, not the war. Munich lost the match, not hope. One goal separates these two giants. And sometimes, that is all it takes to change everything. The football world is now waiting for the second leg. After such a storm, no one can look away. The Parc des Princes roared. The Allianz Arena is preparing its answer. PSG struck first. Bayern returned wounded, and all of Europe is holding its breath. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe and share.